heart. So, okay, well, welcome everyone. My name is Jonathan Jones, and I'll be your host and moderator for this afternoon. Today's Sunday, and it's August the 29th, 2021. And this is a weekly conference call discussion that we have, sponsored by the Healthcare Support Association of America. It's a small not-for-profit organization, private association with the United States government allows us freedom of association, freedom of open communication when you're members of the same association. So by virtue of attending this meeting, you automatically become honorary members of the Healthcare Support Association of America. So welcome. The information that we provide here has not been evaluated by the FDA. It's part of public information. It's readily available just about anywhere. If you want to know any of the sources of information, just send me an email or a text message. I'll be happy to pass on to you whatever information that I have. My email address is jonathan@hcs, as in Sam, AAA.com. Jonathan@HarryCharlieSam, HCS.AAA.com. Our website is hcs.AAA.com. So you're welcome to go there. You can look around and browse, or you can request consultation. So you can fill out a form there. And we'll be happy to, our team will be happy to put together some suggested protocols for you. The information we provide is really information that's designed to help you make decisions about your health and wellness. We strongly recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust when making decisions about your health and well-being. We're in a time right now where the information superhighway is a superhighway. It's like the Autobahn now, where if you want information, all you have to do is Google it. I remember when my brother-in-law was in the hospital, and I told the nurse, I asked her a couple of questions and made a couple of suggestions to her. And she very snarkily said to me, "So what did you do, Google that?" And I told her exactly where the information came from and who it came from, what the name of the doctor and the scientist was that suggested that I relate that to her. But indirectly within her sarcastic attitude was the fact that nowadays more and more people are becoming educated because they Google things. So if you want to know what would be the best thing to do if you wanted to avoid having a heart issue, what would you do? Which website would you go to? Right now, if you put in a Google search engine and it said, and you search for what should I do to avoid a heart attack, I guarantee you millions of responses will come up. And then not long after that, you'll receive a wave of advertisements with everything from walnuts and to some kind of a pine cone that might be good for helping you to avoid having a heart issue. Literally, there's an ocean of information. What part do you swim in? Where do you go? What do you do? Again, we strongly recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. But having said that, we've done a lot of research on it. And I remember going back some years, it was a friend of mine, his name is Gregory. Gregory said to me that there's some doctors giving a lecture on the immune system. This is back in the 90s. Doctors weren't talking about the immune system back then. Today, a new phrase has been coined, immunotherapy. So more and more doctors are talking about the immune system now. We're seeing it live on television, where more people know more about the immune system today than ever before. There's commercials running now where they're literally using nanotechnology and other high-tech scientific mechanisms to target and manipulate parts of the immune system to target certain cancers and to do very specific things. They're able to manipulate the immune system a lot more. But back in the 90s, there was the only discussion about the immune system then was as it related to the AIDS virus, autoimmune deficiency syndrome. So doctors weren't really lecturing on it very much that I knew of. So when my friend said to me that there's a doctor giving a lecture on the immune system, I was wanting to know who this doctor was. And it was Dr. Jimmy Gutman. Dr. Jimmy Gutman, along with a few other individuals, I think Dr. Alan Summersall was at that event. And it was an amazing event. It's the first time I ever heard the word glutathione. And my wife and I had, for about 10 years at that time, been doing research on natural things, alternatives, kinesiology, iridology, reflexology, and a few other ologies, because we just didn't want to get diabetes. And in the studies that we have been doing, the researchers and professionals told us that diabetes was an immune system issue. So that's the connection for me. We were looking for anything having to do with the immune system. So when these doctors said that pretty soon glutathione was going to be a household word, I kind of laughed. I was a sarcastic, snarky one then. And I never even heard of this thing, but you know, maybe it's something I don't know. So I set my computer up to send me an email every time the word glutathione showed up anywhere on the internet. Much to my surprise, every other day just about, an email was coming in, new information about glutathione, new information about glutathione. So this man was right. Turns out there's a whole study on glutathione. They now know that glutathione is the most important molecule in your whole body. They know that now. They know now that every cell in your body manufactures glutathione. In fact, were it not for glutathione, you would literally rust from the inside out, starting one cell at a time. Because as your mitochondria, which is like the battery inside your cell, as the mitochondria produces energy, it also produces a waste product called hydroxy radical. If that waste product was not removed from the cells, your cells would explode from waste. But glutathione does housekeeping work, make sure that those hydroxy radicals or oxy radicals inside the cell is removed safely and eliminated from the body. As we're out in the sun, we're suffering from oxidative stress. When we eat, we're consuming oxidants or free radicals. When we drink even pure, so-called purified water, there's microplastics in there and other toxins, even in this, that were it not for glutathione in our body, those toxins would overwhelm us to such a degree that we would be in a constant state of dis-ease, or the lack of ease. You know, that word has become disease now, it's kind of general, but our body would not be at ease. And the reason is because of free radicals. The free radicals are taken care of routinely because of glutathione. That's how important glutathione is. Glutathione is manufactured by your body, by the cells. It's a combination of glutamic acid, glycine, and cysteine. Those three things, when they combine together, your body makes glutathione. Were you not making enough glutathione, you'd already be dead now. The people who live the longest make the most glutathione. There's a group of people who are centurions in some obscure part of Japan somewhere or Asia that live routinely to be over 100 years of age. And part of it is because the diet that they eat is rich in glutathione precursors. And there are levels of glutathione, people who live over 100, their glutathione levels are off the charts. That's one of the reasons for longevity in life. So it's anti-aging. So circle back to those emails I was getting as I'm becoming educated on what glutathione was. One email came in that caught my attention. It was USA Today reported that researchers in Mainz, Germany, there's a university in Mainz, Germany. I forget the name of the university, but it's like the Harvard of here in the United States. Discovered for the first time that prior to a heart attack, they measured low levels of glutathione. There was a connection between low levels of glutathione and heart disease. Newsweek magazine published an article that said that inflammation is the alpha and the omega of heart disease. Glutathione reduces inflammation. Glutathione does so many different things in the body that, again, were it not for glutathione, we would literally rust from the inside out. So the question you're wondering right now is, okay, great, got it, check mark, glutathione, need it, keep it high. How? Simple, microdaily. One of the most important parts of microdaily is N-acetylcysteine. N-acetylcysteine is that cysteine part of the glycine, glutamic acid, and cysteine combination that combine together to cause the body to manufacture glutathione. Now you can buy cysteine. They even intravenously will drip it into a person, go to the hospital. If a person has accidentally overdosed on acetaminophen and alcohol, the first thing that the doctor will say was, how long ago did you consume this high level of alcohol and acetaminophen? If you say anything less than 72 hours, the doctor's going to say good, which is kind of strange response to say that you overdosed on acetaminophen and alcohol, and for anyone to say good. The reason he said good was because once you get past 48 hours, the chances of your liver surviving that starts to go down terribly, because that's the number one cause of liver disease and accidental suicide is because of the combination of Tylenol, acetaminophen, and alcohol. Because people will get drunk and then they'll take Tylenol for the headache, and they don't realize that they're taking so much Tylenol that they're destroying their liver, and it will literally disintegrate and fall apart. So you know how the hospital will remedy that? They'll go grab a bag, small bag like this, and stick it on an IV, shove it in your arm, and intravenously feed in N-acetylcysteine. It quickly raises the glutathione levels in the liver. Now, the person who's going through this experience is going to throw up violently because it's going to detox the body very, very quickly. So the detox reaction will be out of this world. I mean, they just throw up all over the place. So the doctor won't go in there and give that IV drip. He'll send a nurse in there to do that part, or someone that's studying, because he's not going to go through that throwing up experience. But that's what will happen. But you weigh the pros and the cons. Throwing up is a little bit better than dying, so you're going to go through that process. And that's why when someone will be taking microdaily and they say, well, I get some headaches when I take it, or I feel a little nauseous when I take it, or I get a little dizzy when I take it, or I itch when I take it, I break out in a little rash when I take it. Well, that's actually a good thing, because that means it's actually stirring up toxins and pushing it out of your body, or trying to push it out of the body. The way that you can help those toxins out is by making sure that you drink plenty of water. So I have a lot of people say that, well, I drink plenty of water. Automatically, I drink plenty of water. I'm a big water drinker. So I asked someone one time, well, how much water do you drink? I drink at least 3 bottles of water a day. 3 bottles. What kind of bottles are you talking about? Oh, like this. I'll drink 3 of those a day. And this is a 200-pound person. Well, write this down. The correct amount of water for anyone, every one of us, is half your body weight in ounces. So if you are a 200-pound person, and I don't think there's too many 200-pound persons on this meeting right now, but I'm doing this because it's easy math for me. Sorry, so I'm not trying to imply anything. If you are a 200-pound person, that person would need 100 ounces of water. That's how simple it is to figure it out. So whatever your weight is, divide that number in half, and that's how many ounces you need to do a day. Coffee does not count as water. In fact, coffee is a deficit. So if you drink a cup of coffee in the morning, got to have your latte and or whatever it is that you have to do, however many ounces that is, you're at a negative now. So you got to offset that by that much water. So that 100 ounces of water just became 108 ounces of water that you need for the day. Now you do get some water, of course, in vegetables, and some water in other things. So you can factor that in if you want to really try to split hairs over the matter, no pun intended. But that's the number you want to go to. And you don't want to just go 130 ounces of water just because you love water, because too much water is just as bad as not enough. So try to get the right amount of water, because what you're trying to do is give that glutathione that's working hard in your body, grabbing toxins, literally handcuffing them, trying to get them out of your body, you want to give it a pathway out. And water is the best detoxifier that you can have. So give yourself plenty of water, and that will help you along the way. So the connection between glutathione and heart disease is very simple. Dr. Prasad, I told you I just came off the roof, so I didn't have time to find the book, but he's written a book, several books, as a matter of fact. Dr. Prasad has been published more than 30 times, and one of his books is on micronutrition as it relates to heart disease. So if you can find that book, you'll see the detailed scientific connection between proper nutrition and heart disease. When I spoke to Dr. Nakuzi about microdaily, it was called military micronutrient formula at the time. He came back about 4 months later and says, this scientist spent a lot of time focusing on the brain and on the heart. He said, I'd like to meet him because I need to know what his thinking was as he was putting this particular cocktail of antioxidants together. So that was the first conclusion that Dr. Nakuzi drew after reading the research and the patents for Dr. Prasad's invention, MMF, military micronutrient formula, now known as microdaily. So if you want to help your heart out, then it's a very simple formula. Make sure that you're taking a sufficient amount of microdaily. Now, of course, again, we're not claiming that it's a cure or treatment for disease, but we are saying that your heart will be happier if you're taking microdaily. Now, the other question that a person is asking is, well, how much is the correct amount? The correct amount of microdaily to take? If you're a healthy person and you're under 50, if you're younger than 50 and you're healthy, you can take 2 capsules twice a day. So you can take your bottle of microdaily, I left mine by the door. Take your bottle of microdaily and 2 of those capsules. This is the green bottle. The one that I usually take is the original formula, but the EMF is phenomenal, by the way. So if you find yourself sitting and spending a lot of time around your computer, or if you really have a special affinity for your cell phone, then you might want to consider making sure that you take the EMF formula. But the EMF formula, 3 capsules is the same as 2 of the original formula. Okay, so just please try to remember that. You can't just take 2 capsules of the EMF formula. Dr. Prasad added 4 extra ingredients, and those 4 extra ingredients could not fit inside 2 capsules. So they had to add a 3rd capsule to get the full dose, to make sure that you had sufficient amount. So they just didn't have a capsule large enough to pack it all in to get the correct dose. So when you're taking EMF, just remember that, please. Make sure you're taking 3 capsules at least. That's a healthy person under 50 years of age, okay, twice a day. So the green bottle, 2 capsules twice a day. The red bottle, 3 capsules twice a day. Hydro, 1 packet twice a day. 1 packet is the same as 2 of the green bottle, the original formula. Now, once you hit 50, that's called a chronic problem. Or if you have another chronic problem, diabetes, blood pressure issues, arthritis, whatever chronic issue that you're dealing with, now we're in a different category. We have to add more. So at least 1 extra dose, at least 1 extra dose. So instead of just taking it at breakfast and dinner, then you want to take it at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That would be your best option. Or you can double it up. You can just take a double dose in the morning and a double dose in the evening, especially if you're dealing with a heart issue. So we're coming back to heart health. If you're in my category where you're knocking on 60, then it might take even more. Turns out I was developing bursitis in my left shoulder, probably because my exercise of choice was push-ups. I would do close to a couple hundred push-ups a day. And so maybe I was overdoing it, I guess. But at some point, I could not do anything because my left shoulder was terribly inflamed. I didn't know if it was a torn rotator cuff or not, but it wouldn't be there all the time. So that took away the suggestion that it was a torn rotator cuff. And at the exact same time, I began to develop a problem in my left knee. So what it is about the left side of my body, I don't know. Actually, I do know what it is because I also used to play a lot of basketball when I was younger. So the leg you jump off of in basketball, if you're right-handed, is your left leg. So I came down on that leg, no doubt, a lot. So all of this is sports related. So I'm saying to myself, well, maybe they did something to the formula. I called Jeff up or Dr. Prasad, and I said, the formula must have changed. Something is wrong. It's not working like it used to. Why am I developing all these pains? And, you know, I got that look where the eyeglasses go down, that kind of look. So sure enough, I just doubled up my dose, and I tell you, I haven't had no problems anymore. So I do 2 hydro in the morning, 2 hydro in the afternoon, and believe it or not, I also do 3 capsules of the regular just at bedtime also. I sleep better, all that pain in my shoulder, my knee, all gone. My lower back is even gone. My neck pain is all gone. So all the pains I've had everywhere as a result of aging is gone. And I actually feel like my heart, there's no issues with my heart. And every time I've been checked, you know, doctor will look and say, why are you here? So I'm glad to hear that. You know, I'm happy to have that kind of thing. Dr. Nacuzzi checks me out. He never hears anything. So he just tells me to just keep on going with it. So that's the way that it works for me. So the best recommendation we can give you, if you're past 50, do not take a dose for a healthy 20-year-old person. Step it up, increase it. The atmosphere that we're in right now, there is a virus circulating everywhere. It's in the air, and if the virus isn't circulating in the air, there are microparticles of the protein that's in the air. So they call that shedding. That's everywhere. So we literally have to fight toxins at every corner. Whether you decide to get vaccinated or not, everyone we got to fight. We have to fight it. So we have to do more. So the blanket recommendation right now is for just about everyone to at least increase your dose by your micro daily by at least 1 dose. If you're in my category, double it. You cannot overdose on micro daily. So we've proven that it does not become toxic. Now, there was a time when the thinking was that it could become toxic after a while, but I'm proof positive that it does not become toxic. The days that I miss my double dose, I know that it happened because I pay the piper for it. So I will never reduce my dose ever again. So that gives you this in a nutshell. If this is your first time here, go back to the person who invited you and they'll help you set up a discount account. You want the discount. It's much better to get your product at a discount. To do that, all you have to do is receive something every month on subscription. It's very simple. So you can get the green bottle for $49.95. Again, that's the one I recommend, or Hydro. I love the Hydro now. I didn't think I would because Hydro likes to lower your blood sugar levels. If you're diabetic, by the way, Hydro is your friend. It'll help you drink more water, number one. Plus, it really does want to lower your blood sugar levels quickly. But I found that I don't have that detox reaction anymore. It never tries to drop my sugar levels, even if I haven't eaten. So I'm at the point now where I'm no longer detoxing at that level. So I'm doing a whole lot better. So I can take those two packets of Hydro. I put it in this 1 bottle like this. I just put them both in there, and it makes it a nice, refreshing beverage, especially if it's cold water. I'm not a fan of cold water, but I'm surprised at how much better it tastes when I put the 2 packets of Hydro in that bottle. And I drink it down. It's actually pretty refreshing. So get back with the person who invited you, and they'll help you set up your own wholesale account. But now, before we switch over and open up to questions, I sent out some information about a vaccine that's been being studied since the beginning of the vaccines for COVID-19. So the company is called Novavax, and they're submitting application, according to reports, later this year for emergency use authorization. And our initial observations is that it's a more traditional vaccine. So for those who are concerned about the mRNA vaccine, then you might want to take a good look at this Novavax and hope that it becomes approved by the FDA in this country. If it does not become approved by the FDA in this country, between you and me, I personally will fly to wherever it is approved, and that will be the one that I'm going to get, based off my initial observations. I'm still waiting to hear back from Dr. Laird and Dr. Glutathione. Just before we started this call, I saw Dr. Laird was trying to call me. So he may have gotten my message where I'm asking him to take a closer look at it so I can share with you guys what his observations are and what Dr. Nakuzzi's comments are about it. But that's the one I'm going for, if and when it ever becomes available. And the reason I will do that is because there are lots of very strong feelings, about getting vaccinated. A lot of the strong feelings come from a lack of knowledge. And I like to believe that people who have strong feelings about you and your health are coming from a good place. I believe that the people do that and they're putting on a lot of pressure because people are dying from COVID-19. It is happening. And there are a lot of people who believe that something like microdaily is useless. It's not good enough for something like COVID-19. There are a lot of people who believe that. And I'm not trying to tell you that it is the only thing. Even Dr. Prasad believes that everybody should get vaccinated. So I can give you many, many examples of individuals who had no conventional treatment of any kind. They came down with advanced stages of COVID-19, even the Delta variant, and they're still alive now. Now, somebody will say, okay, well, maybe it was just a mild version. Say what you want. But coincidentally, they happen to put microdaily in their body and ImmuneRx at the same time that they got this mild dose. And every single one of the persons who have had this evidently must have had a mild dose, a mild case of COVID-19, because I have not seen one person that was able to get microdaily and ImmuneRx in their body, no matter where they were with COVID. I've not seen one person that died afterward. And again, I'm not saying that that microdaily and ImmuneRx are cures, for COVID-19. So please don't take it the wrong way. But if that's what someone decided that they wanted to do, was to give their immune system as much ammunition as possible, if that's what they decide they want to do, that's what they're doing. But that's not enough for people who have not spent the time researching the reality of the virus and the various vaccines. There are people who now believe that the only way to live is if you get one of the 3 vaccines. Otherwise, you are going to die. That's how passionate some people are right now, that there's no other option. And any other option is hocus plus pocus, with a little bit of conspiracy splashed in. And there's no scientific evidence that anything else will help. That's the way some people feel. And part of that is because the media has done a good job of contaminating and distorting the truth. So it's become so politicized that you can't just make your own choice anymore. You can't even decide what you want to do. There's no room for self-determination about anything right now because of the level of strong feelings that's taking place out there. So be that as it may, the one option that may take the edge off of that without creating a tremendous amount of adverse reactions may be, and I keep saying may be because we have not finished researching it. I'm telling you guys this all ahead of time because the wave of negativity and pressure is coming so hard for so many people. It's the Novavax. So if you're not in the chat, then you won't see those 2 links. You can always send me an email and I'll send you the links of the articles that have been published about what's happening with this Novavax. And there's some countries already that I think are using it. I think the Philippines has already been approved. In the Philippines, they're using it down there. So if it does not become approved here, I've always wanted to go to the Philippines. I mean, I had a young fella that I met was on a cargo ship, came here to the United States, and I haven't seen him. I heard he's doing really, really well. So I want to look him up. I'm gonna try to find him. A gentleman that I work with right now, I do some real estate transactions with. He's from the Philippines, his family is there. So I'd like to check it out. We'll check it out. And if there's another country, I think some European countries are looking hard at it right now, this Novavax. But again, they're supposedly on the verge of requesting emergency authorization from the FDA this year. So let's hope that that becomes the case. And then you can say, I did get vaccinated, if that's what you feel like you need to do. Okay. Someone raised a question in the chat there that they see that microdata is available at Walmart online. And the question is it cheaper with a discount? The answer is yes. It is cheaper. It's at Walmart. The only way that it can be at Walmart is it has to be at the full retail price. And I'll give you one step further. I submitted the recommendation to David Nemelka just this past week that he make it so that anyone of our guests who choose to buy it and don't want to get a subscription, they would prefer to pay the full price from your website, any of our websites, that the price will be whatever the retail price is, but the shipping will be free. So I've asked them to put that into place. So let's see if that happens sometime this year. Who knows? You know, it takes time to for things like that to work through the system. So it may be at some point that retail, even on our website, because of places like Walmart, because they can offer discounts in the shipping that you can't offer. But we can offer free shipping if they pay retail. You know, so as a health advocate or distributor, you make a little less profit as a result of that, but the customer becomes loyal to you because they're getting the free shipping. So sorry for interjecting a business-related matter there, but the question came up about that. So if you get back with the person who invited you, you set up your own discount account at their website, and you save about 25% off the retail price. So it's cheaper than buying it at walmart.com or anywhere else that you could search for it. Okay, so hope that answers your question. Well, let's go ahead now and take some time to try to respond to some of your questions, if at all possible. And we're gonna have to, I hate to say we're gonna have to make them quick because I gotta go take some rental equipment back to Home Depot from that plumbing problem I had. So, Paul Muller, please.
Okay, well, I got a question and my wife's got a question. I read somewhere or I saw in a video where the quercetin, which is in the EMF, helps the individual cells absorb zinc, which is very important in destroying the COVID virus or preventing it from attaching to the cell. Is that true? You have any information on that?
Absolutely true. 100% definitely true. No question about it. So there are components in every one of the formulas that help the micronutrients be absorbed by your cells better. And when I interviewed Dr. Prasad here about 3 or 4 weeks ago, Dr. Prasad went step by step and showed us about 6 ways that the micronutrients disrupts the way COVID-19 wants to behave inside your body. So there's about 6 ways it disrupts what it's trying to do.
So you don't have to get the EMF, just you can take the regular micro daily or the hydro and it'll help the cells absorb the zinc.
That's correct. His paper, the scientific paper that he published about how micronutrients and microdaily disrupt COVID-19 activity was about the original formula. It was not about the EMF formula. The EMF formula is just a little bit better, but the purpose of the EMF was not targeted at COVID. It was targeted at 5G and EMF radiation. But it has all of the technology in the original formula plus extra things targeted at 5G and radiation.
Very good.
Yeah, well, the question I had was, I right now I'm taking the hydro, but I just was wondering, the micro daily or the EMF, should I take which one before I take my COVID shot? And I just wanted to know which one would be more effective when I'm going to take the COVID shot.
She's thinking about taking the COVID shot.
Yeah,
she's not definite.
Which one,
Right.
so I could take that and build up my body from these killer viruses.
Understood. How much of the hydro are you taking now?
Right now, I take like the hydro. I take it like 3 times a day.
3 times a day. Okay, all right. So you
pack 3 times a day.
1 pack 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, you're in the right ballpark. The hydro will do it, but if you really want to step it up, add 1 EMF to every one of your doses.
Oh, one a day?
One capsule, one capsule.
1 capsule of
capsule?
EMF to every dose.
How many?
1 capsule of EMF to every dose.
Oh, okay, to every dose, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and so, another one I was gonna, now, how many days before, like, when I'm taking it, how many days I have to take it until I get the shot that it will work?
There's no cutoff. There's no maximum or minimum. You want to take this forever.
Okay, because I've been taking the, actually the hydro, before the COVID. I've
Good.
been taking it since that time.
Then you've got a robust immune system. Your immune system right now is robust, which is pretty good. But now, since you're considering, getting one of the shots, you can step it up a little bit. If you're concerned about it, step it up a little more, adding a little bit of the EMF to every single dose. Now, this is not something that everybody has to do, but it certainly will make the dose more potent,
Okay,
especially in our age category where we're not in that 30-year-old category. That's one way to bump it up and make it stronger. Okay.
okay, thank you, because I know my brother's gonna be coming over here, and he's gonna be staying with him and his wife about 3 weeks, and they come from the Dominican Republic. He don't live there anymore. He was a special.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, thank you, Jonathan.
Yep. Very good. Very good. Thank you. Appreciate your question. I see that Lisa Miller has a question. Lisa Williams, sorry.
So I just want to ask a quick question, because I was overhearing what they were saying, that you can absorb your zinc at a greater level if you're taking the micro daily. My question is, then do you not have to take zinc?
That would be correct. There is zinc in the, you can take more zinc. Dr. Prasad said that he has no objection to the person taking more zinc or more vitamin Ds.
Okay.
With it, but no question about it, it'll improve the absorption of it if I do. Stay away from the other regular vitamins, the A's and things like that, but zinc and D's was okay.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you. Appreciate your question and glad you made it.
Me too.
All right, so let's see here. Anyone else have another question? So don't tell me I can head over to Home Depot quicker. Oh, okay. Virginia Williams has a question.
If I can get unmuted. Yes, I do. So right now, my husband and I both are taking the EMF, the red bottle. I also just bought some hydro. So I'm trying to think, should we be taking both of those, the hydro and the EMF?
You can.
Or
Yeah, you can. You can take them both. Some people decide that they want to have a little EMF protection. So they'll take hydro in the morning, EMF at noon, and take hydro later. Or they'll take EMF in the morning. They just mix and matches. So you can make up any cocktails you want. It won't hurt.
Okay, so just mix and match them. Just don't
mix it and match it however you want.
Okay, great. It's good to know. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. And Daphne Miller has a question.
Yes, I have a girlfriend who I gave some hydro to. She take thyroid medication, and she was concerned. Is it any concern she should have whether or not because the doctor told her to take her thyroid medication first thing in the morning. So is it any other concerns that her taking the hydro?
No, the only side effect is it may be down the road at some point her doctor may reduce her thyroid medication. That's a possibility.
Okay.
I wouldn't, build up her hopes, but that's the only side effect. It won't hurt the medication or reduce its effectiveness in any way. So thank you. Thank you for your question. Okay. All right. Very good. So we're all set. Okay. So check your email. This may be one of those recordings that we can go ahead and add to the channel. I do have the other 2 recordings over the past 2 weeks where we spend a lot of time talking about the pros and the cons of the vaccines, and we covered a lot of details about it. I didn't post those because I don't want them to shut down our account. but we will put them on a server and we'll share a link as to where those recordings will be at some point in time. But this one, I think we can go ahead and post this one so that if you feel like someone could benefit from the information we discussed today, you'll be able to share that with someone, okay? So in the coming weeks, we're going to be inviting some more special guests. We're looking forward to Dr. Prasad, hopefully next weekend. So get ready for that. We'll invite him to join us. He's given a tentative agreement to join us. So right now, just to kind of build up your hopes for it, invite everybody that you can to be with us next Sunday. We'll be interviewing Dr. Prasad. Okay, well, thank you guys very much for joining us. Once again, for the record, my name is Jonathan Jones. It's been my pleasure and privilege to be your host and moderator for the afternoon. Remember that this information is not evaluated by the FDA. We strongly recommend seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. We strongly recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. Okay, see you guys next week.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
Jonathan.
you.
very much.
Bye.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Tell your
Thank you.
wife hello.
Sure will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So good to see you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Less than half the time required.
Thank you, Brother Jones.
Thank you. See you
Oh,
guys.
sorry.